And Jill starts laughing because she knows how I am. So, welcome everyone. Nice to see you joining from around the world. If you want to share where you are from, you can always put it in the chat. And while people are still coming in, I'm going to introduce myself very, very shortly for those who don't know me or Droify or Maia. So today we are doing a demo session about Maia. And Maia is a daughter of Droify. And Droify started 3 years ago, together with like 20, 30 visual storytellers. We brought like 50,000 drawings together on the platform to help people to do visual storytelling without having to draw themselves. And the last 3 years, we've seen that lots of people, thousands and thousands of people were using the platform, but we saw that lots of them were struggling with making the composition and bringing the visuals together in a very compelling, nice visual story. So thanks to everything that has been happening recently in the landscape of AI, we were able to bring the best of both worlds together, being the technology and AI, and then the handmade drawings of our visual storytellers. And those two components together, that became Maia. And today, so it's the first day that anyone in the world can subscribe and try a free trial. So it's a very important day today. So let's celebrate. And today I want to show you how it works, how you can use it, and how easy it is. So I would say, let's get started. If you have questions, put them in the chats. I will try to take an eye on it in between. And if you don't see an answer on your chat, on your question, just interrupt me and ask your question out loud if you want. So the first thing I will do now is share my screen. So if it's okay now, normally you should see my screen, right? Yeah. In the meantime, people are coming in. It's very busy at the door. Okay, so this is the first screen you see. And for those who are used to Droify, you will see that it changed. So the look and feel changed a little bit, and the homepage changed a little bit. And that's all because of the new applications and the new plans and everything that changed overnight, or at least last night. So I will show you how it works. So I will go to Maia. So this is Maia. And of course, if you have already a subscription, you will see it in your account. If you don't have a subscription, you can go to Maia, you can subscribe and try it for 1 month free. So Maia is the magical intelligent assistant, and she helps you to summarize complex information and translate that into a visual story. And to show you, I will first work with text. So there are two things you can do. You can ask a question yourself, or you can put your own text and then it will summarize. And this text, it can be a report of a meeting. It can be very complex information that you receive from a client and you have to visualize, or you want to make more compelling. I just took a text about dual coding. I don't know if you know that theory. It's about visualizing information. So I took this text. I will copy paste it in the frame. So like you can see, it has now 3,449 characters. You can put 13,000 characters, so that's a lot. And then I'm going to ask Maia. Hello. I'm going to ask Maia to summarize this in 6 steps. So I asked to do it in 6 steps. You can also ask 3 steps or 5 steps, doesn't matter. I will ask to do it in 6 steps. And then we're going to generate the story. Maia needs 1 minute. So we will wait 1 minute, and sometimes it's less. And in the meantime, she's making a summary of this whole text. And then, something went wrong. That's always nice with live demos. What went wrong? Summarize this text. Normally, this is all. We will try it again. I don't know what happened. Okay. This is exciting. So while she's summarizing, and then after that, she will communicate with our platform, find a layout that fits well, put images on it. And normally, if everything goes well, you should see the result. I've tested at least 10 times today to be sure that everything was working. So let's hope it works well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Phew. So here we get a visual summary of dual coding in 6 steps, like I asked. And as you can see, it's a kind of timeline, a kind of arrow. And maybe you don't really like this kind of visual, and then you can regenerate the text, which I will do. Maybe I will summarize this text again in 6 steps using a line, a timeline maybe. And I can regenerate. So you can, if you don't like what you see, you can generate again, but you can also adjust every composition you get, and I will show that in a minute. And it's always exciting because I never know what I'm going to get. So you see, this is a complete different layout that we have here. So now it's not an arrow anymore. It's more like a timeline, what I asked. And now you can change basically every element that's there. So imagine that you say, okay, I don't like this visual. I want something more that has to do with science. Then you can change the visuals one by one, or you can make them smaller, bigger, change the colors. But I will first show you how to change, for instance, an illustration. So this is, for instance, here, the science behind dual coding. If I go to illustrations and I go to the smart search is the AI-driven search. You can put the text there to the smart search, and it will give you new possibilities. So it gives also the same, but it gives also different possibilities where you can change your images if you want. Imagine that you say, okay, I don't like this one, I prefer this one, then you can just change it. The same with the text, you can change basically everything. You can also change the fonts. Imagine that you don't like the fonts that Maia used, or you don't like the colors that Maia used. You can change every step of it. If you have, for instance, company colors, you can also add the colors here, the codes of the colors, and then you can use your own company colors to make it fit your branding. So that's how it works with an existing text. So you can ask in how many steps it needs to be summarized. As you can see, the first one and the second one, the first one has a lot of text here. Maybe you think it's too much, then you can regenerate, which I did, and you get a new one. And this one doesn't have text. So you can even choose, you can generate different ones, and afterwards you can come back and see which one you like most. You can also duplicate. Imagine that you say, oh, I like this composition very much. I want other things to do with my own content. Then you can duplicate, and it will create the same one where you can change text or images as you wish. So that's for the generation of or the summaries of text. But you can also do something else. Imagine that you haven't been looking up what dual coding means, and you want to ask the question, then you could, for instance, write, what is dual coding and how does it help teachers, for instance? So you can also just ask the question, and then Maia will find the response and visualize it. And by the way, if you have questions in between, please ask. Yeah, I see that there are questions. I'm going to answer them in a minute. Mm-hmm. Oops. So as you can see, now it's much shorter. It's a little bit very short even. So it only has 3 steps, and it doesn't give any information. I'm going to ask another question about dual coding. Explain me in 5 steps. What is this? And in between, I will answer a few questions. So like someone asked, can we, for instance, ask for a specific style? In this version of Maia, it's not possible yet. You can, of course, afterwards replace images by looking for that specific person's name. You were mentioning Olina, Dominique. So you can indeed go to the images of Olina and change the ones you want. So as you can see now, it has chosen much more information in 5 steps, as I asked, and you get much more information about dual coding than in the previous version. So that's another example. So like I said, you can choose or summarize, make it summarize, or ask the question yourself. What you also can do is upload your own stuff. So imagine that you have logos you want to add, maybe you have a kind of background you always want to add. That's something you can upload in your own zone, and then also add to the results that Maia gives you. And then something else that I want to show that you can also combine if you want is the draw tool. So imagine that you want to highlight something specific, then you can use the pen and, for instance, imagine that you want to highlight this part, you can draw on it and then, of course, bring it to the back, otherwise you don't see it. So you can also draw on top of the results that Maia has given you. Yeah, I'm looking at the questions. Are there any questions from what you've seen right now? What copyright protections are in place? So as soon as you use Droidfy, normally in the beginning, you have somewhere a checkbox, which means that everything that you use from Droidfy can be used in all applications. So the copyrights always say from the artist himself, but the Droidfy user, so the Droidfy client, can always use the images in all kinds of applications, as well as commercial as non-commercial. There are even people who are using Droidfy to illustrate books, which is completely fine. If it's for a book, we only ask that in the end, when you send your gratitude to everyone, that you also put Droidfy. But you can always use Droidfy in any kind of communication. What about the IP protections for original art? Well, we have, so all the images that are on Droidfy are made by Droidfyers, so by a community, and they all have a contract with us, and they all agreed on the fact that the images they use, that they can be used by others. So in that comparison with all the other AI generators that exist right now, where new images are generated based on other art, it's not the case here. The only thing that we generate is a composition, but the art itself is is protected because it's from the artists that are on Droify, and they all agreed to do that. So you are not infringing any copyrights, which is, to my opinion, very big difference with the other AI generators that are around. Pedram, for your languages. So it's for now. So the engine behind Maia is ChatGPT. For now, it's only English, although we did a test in Chinese and that also worked. So I tried Dutch and that's not working. So I would say try it out. I think that ChatGPT becomes smarter and smarter. And when that becomes smarter, Maia becomes smarter too. If you go to the smart search, I've seen that this one, before in normal search, you could not enter other languages. Now it can. So that's a change with the past, because our smart search understands more languages. Like you see, I did cats in different languages and it understands it. A question on the subscription plan. It's not available on the Pro subscription. So I had indeed a few questions already from a few Pro users. What I suggest, because of course, in the future, every new user will come in with a free trial and will choose there if they will become a hero or a Pro. For the Pro users, I suggest that you try to create a new account with another email address. It's a bit another way to try it, and you can try another 3 months with so without your Pro account, and if you like it, you can upgrade to the Hero account. So that's how I would suggest. If you don't have another email address, just contact me. We will find a way. It would be a shame that you can't test it out. But for now, the people who contacted me about that, I suggested to try it like that. So if you have another email address. No, indeed, you can't see that, Marianne. So you can't see from who the illustration is. That's also something that in the future we certainly could foresee. No, you can't do that, indeed. Can the images be contained to the Droify catalog? Okay, thanks. Other questions? No? Okay. Well, we still have 10 minutes. If someone wants me to try something else, let me know, then I will put it in Maia. No new suggestions?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Tell me. Who said yes? Okay. Thanks, Rita, for your question. How to approach mentoring? Can you give a little bit mentoring of employees, or what kind of mentoring? How to improve college students explain 5 steps. Okay, we'll see what she does. And any plans in the future for Maia to be able to learn additional art styles? Dominique, that's certainly something that's possible, but we are not doing it yet. But it's certainly something that we know is possible. that you can indeed learn new art styles based on other uncreated ones. So we have again the arrow, so mentoring steps. So you have establish goals, build trust, provide guidance, foster accountability, and offer support. And like you see, I'm adjusting a little bit the text here because somehow the text was larger than the place foreseen. But you can easily do that. It takes a few seconds to do that. And what I also always do is, by the way, I always bring the arrow to the back because otherwise it's it's when you try to change something, that's sometimes a little bit harder. So I bring the shape to the back and then I do the adjustments. There's a question, how aligned with other LLMs is it for prompts? Fairly similar way of interacting. Do you mean that the way how you prompt it, is it the same as the other generators, or what exactly is your question? Okay, yeah, so we did already, we did already a pre-prompt, let's say. So the question you ask can be more simple than what you sometimes ask to other generators. But of course, the more specific you are, the better the result is. So that's indeed something I'm exploring myself, what I have to do to get the best results too. So like I said, if you say, for instance, I want an arrow or a timeline, you will get more like a timeline. If you say, I want more steps, then you get more steps. So you can define the result better by changing the prompt. That's certainly something you can explore with. But we did already a bit of pre-prompting in a way that, that the result is already better, because we know from certain platforms it's sometimes really hard to get a good result. And there was also a question about, so Betsy, about color or style, not yet. It's certainly also something that in the future, after the beta version, that would be possible to choose, for instance, in styles, but today in this current version, you can't do it yet. And then Christine, I'm really curious what Maia is going to do with an image of an ethical leader. Now I'm asking for an image. I'm not even asking for a story, so I don't know what she's going to do with that. Like I said, this is all open and transparent. I'm not manipulating results, so I don't know what's coming. Mm. Yeah. She's explaining what it is. So she's not showing one image, she's showing what ethical leadership is, as you can see. Yeah. Now, what we can do, of course, it's take a look at the smart search and say what the smart search has to do with ethical leader. And then you get our AI search that this is funny, this marker. Yeah. So a little bit about the smart search may be interesting to know. Imagine that you say, okay, for me, this is a very good, this is a very good picture of an ethical leader. Imagine that this would be the one. Then by the fact that we are choosing this now, the smart search will recognize it and will say, oh, okay, next time, if someone looks for an ethical leader, that apparently was a good one. And it will recognize it and use it again or propose it again. So the more we use it, the smarter it gets, like always with machine learning, of course. Yeah, so the attribution of sources, you mean that you know from who it is, right? Mart? So that indeed, yeah, indeed. So that's for the moment not possible yet, although I'm going to try something. No. So that's not not possible yet. What you can do, if you go to your recents, then you can see who the artists are. But what comes out of Maya, you can't see from who it is. But it's interesting. Certainly something we have to take into account for the future. So thanks for the question. Yeah. So Mart, the response on the questions is coming from ChatGPT. So behind Maya, there is for the content we are using ChatGPT. So the question is where the text is coming from. Yeah. So Asha, I think that's the same answer. So everything that you do on Droidify is of course safe, and then it's and ChatGPT is using we use the engine of ChatGPT to summarize it, and of course that's coming from somewhere else, as you know. Yeah. Jill, I understand what you say. So there's an overrepresentation of men as leaders. That means that we as graphic recorders and as visual storytellers have to put more drawings of female leaders on Droidify. Okay, so we are almost 3:30. Any other questions you'd like to answer before we close this session? Yeah. So yes, Rita, in that indeed your bias in the AI search, that's certainly something we have to be aware of, and something we all together can work on, I think. Yeah. So okay, thanks everyone for being here. This was really nice and really exciting for me to do. It was a first demo. We will certainly do more. If you are not a Droidify user yet, I want to invite you to go to the free trial and try it out for 1 month to see how it can help you with your reports and your presentations and everything. If you are a Droidify user, a hero, well, let's use it. And for the pros who want to upgrade, feel free. And if you have questions, reach out. We are really, really happy to help. Have a nice day, and thanks again for joining. Bye-bye. Bye.